Did you know that Massachusetts just made it easier to erase an eviction from your record? It's true. As of last week, on May 5th, 2025, a new law went into effect that allows tenants to petition the housing court to seal eviction records. Those evictions are sometimes called summary process cases. So this means that if you're a tenant who won your case, or had your case dismissed, or you were evicted for a no-fault reason, so that would be something like your landlord wants you to move out so that they can rehab the property, or they want to move in themselves, or maybe they want to have you leave the property so that they can sell the property. You can now ask the court to seal that record so that it doesn't follow you around when you try to rent your next apartment. And even if you lost your case, you can still ask to seal it after a certain waiting period. This is a big win for tenants who need a second chance, especially after what we saw during the pandemic, when a lot of people faced eviction through no fault of their own, with financial situations around them that they really couldn't control. But there's something else that landlords need to think about. This law now makes it harder for landlords to actually settle eviction cases short of going all the way through a trial. You might ask yourself why, and it's because in the past, tenants were often willing to settle a case. Maybe they would agree to move out by a certain date, or they would move out in a cash for key situation in exchange for avoiding the black mark of an eviction on their record. They wanted to be able to go out and rent another apartment at some point. But now that tenants have the right to seal those records after the fact, there's less incentive for them to settle. Some tenants might decide to fight the case all the way to a trial, or stay even longer because they know that they can just erase the record later. There's really not much of an incentive for them to move out before a trial. And here's the other thing. Landlords may never even see the eviction on a background check if it's been sealed, because now the credit agencies can't report on them and these evictions will be sealed. There's really no way to see if a tenant has been in the eviction process. So if you're a landlord in Massachusetts, now is the time to review your screening policies to make sure that they comply with the new law, make sure you're following the new rules, and be prepared for settlement to be a little bit more challenging in future cases. And if you're a tenant, you should know that you now have options to clean up your record and get a fresh start. So if you have questions about how the new law affects you, if you're a landlord, I'd love to help. Reach out anytime and let's talk about your next step.